Hello, everyone. My name is Holly, and we will be talking about the next emerging market today. So we will be practicing a little bit of reading and also about the market in Iraq and also practicing vocabulary. So welcome. Hello, how are you today?
Hello? Fine,
Hello, how are you today? Good.
fine, fine.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. So how has your day been so far? Noah, how's your day been? Or
Mm,
David?
Fine, fine,
Fine. Yeah.
fine. Very
So
fine.
Noah, where are you from?
I'm from Saudi Arabia.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. All right. And David, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Good. And how was your day? Did you take today off? The kids had the day off, so did you take the day or did you have to work today?
No, it was a holiday day in here in Spain, and I took my day off.
Uh-huh. Oh, awesome. Okay. So what did you guys do?
I had lunch with my wife's family because today, now yesterday was uh, her grandmother's birthday.
Oh,
Uh,
awesome.
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, she is 92 years old.
Is she really healthy and able to?
Yes, yes.
uh,
It's
uh,
he.
Awesome.
She can live by herself. He doesn't need help from other people.
That's awesome when people are able to keep themselves healthy enough, really, that they don't need help when they're older. That's
Yes.
really good to hear. So, um, it, is that typical in your wife's family for people to live older, or was she the only one, or?
Mm, uh, I think it depends on, on many factors, but actually, I think my wife only has this grandmother,
Okay.
uh, or the other three uh, was they died years ago.
Mhm. Okay. All right. All right. And I just went ahead and shared the material for everyone. So Nawaf, now today kind of the middle of the week for you in Saudi Arabia. Do you work on Saturday and Sunday, or when is your weekend?
Weekend is Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday. Okay, so it's changed a
Start
little.
work is today start the work.
Okay. All right. And so today is kind of like what we for you guys. It's kind of like what we call our Wednesday is Hump Day. It's the middle of the week, right? So
Yes, right.
yeah, excellent. All right. Hello, Jacob. How are you today?
Hello, thank you. Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you great. So Jacob, where are you from? Oh,
Thank you very much. Hello.
where are you
I speak.
from, Jacob?
I speak. I speak from Germany. Hello.
You're from Germany?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, great. Welcome. And Ozma, welcome back. Ozma, I can't remember what country you are from, though. I'm sorry.
No problem. Hi, teacher.
Hello.
How are you? I'm
Really
from
good.
Tunisia.
You're from where?
Tunisia.
Tunisia. Okay, yeah. All right. All right. And Erin, welcome back and welcome. So Aaron's from Peru, and then we have Ozma from Tunisia, David from Spain, Jacob from Germany, and Nawaf from Saudi Arabia. And I am from Idaho, and I'm very excited about working with all of you today as we do this reading activity. The topic is on the next emerging market. So it's about international markets, and it's specifically a reading about Iraq and how the market's doing in Iraq. So it should be very interesting. I had actually seen a BBC broadcast about this very topic probably about 8 or 9, maybe 10 years ago. So it's kind of fun to talk about. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And all right, and if you're not speaking, could you all mute your microphone, because there's a lot of noise, a lot of background noise. I think it's coming from your computer, Jacob. The noise is. So if you could mute your microphone.
Okay, you can mute me. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and when you talk, then you unmute. So.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. Yeah. All right. So let's get started. So we have what aspects of a country attract potential investors? Aaron, when you think of investing, what do you think that people what aspects of a country do attract potential investors? What do you think?
Of a country, maybe their resources, minerals. That's why maybe some investors can invest, and in order to to exploit the minerals, so they can gather them and then sell them, maybe internationally, abroad, and for that they pay some kind of taxes to the country they are gathering from.
So it's more or less a win-win for both the country and the investors, right?
Yes, that's why, because what would be the reason is because maybe the country doesn't have enough money to do it.
To exploit it themselves, so they get investors to help them. Excellent. All right, and Ozma, what can you think of any other reasons or aspects of a country that would attract potential investors? Can you think of anything?
Okay, maybe there are many. Okay, my country facilitate all the process or help the investors to attract them. For example, in terms of the salary of the employer, for example, is low, is not very high. It's not higher.
Okay.
Also, they can give them some advantage. Maybe they cannot pay it, the government for 5 years after the project starts. Also, we have the sea, and it's like a tourist country. We have the sun, the sea, means natural resource. I can say. I don't know if I can say like this. It means included or considered like a natural resource.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. David, can you think of any aspects of a country that would attract potential investors?
I think good predictions or forecast for the country.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Good financial forecast, actually. Forecast. Okay. Okay, excellent. And Jacob, what do you think? And you would need to unmute now. And that's up on the top of your screen.
Do you hear me now?
Yep.
Thank you. What was your question, Ms.
The question is on the board. It says, "What aspects of a country attract potential investors?"
Yeah, I think one aspect that must be on the top is legal security. That means I must rely on the on the laws of this country to protect the investment process. And I shouldn't have the case like in African countries that my position is taken away for political purposes or anything else.
Okay. Yeah. So they know for sure that their investment's going to produce an ROI.
Yes. Another aspect is maybe qualified manpower, woman power, and also taxation.
Manpower, qualified manpower, excellent. Yeah, and yeah, taxation, that's actually a better term than taxes to the government.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you use the word woman power for the
not really. It's, I think some people do use it, but manpower is the most common one that we would use, and because manpower is just talking about people. And I guess for some people it would be considered sexist, and that you should say manpower and woman power. But it's in this respect, you're talking about the word mankind.
Yes.
And mankind is basically just a human. So I wouldn't. I'm not a feminist, so I don't get worried about this word. But if somebody, there might be other words. Woman power wouldn't be used though. So qualified employees might be another. Qualified help. That kind of thing. But I wouldn't actually ever use woman power. So thank you for asking. That's a good question. So Nawaf, what do you think? Can you think of any aspects of a country that attract potential investors?
I don't know, but no, I think no reason to Saudi Arabia is for money, except his oil here. That's just.
Yeah, like for Saudi Arabia, it was potential investors come because of the natural resources, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and the oil. And David, you wrote something about less care about environment.
Yes, because in some countries the laws are less restrictive about the environment.
Yes. Okay. So maybe we can write. We can put fewer restrictions. Actually, is one way we can say that. And this is not just for the environment, but also for like labor laws. And things like that. I know in the U.S. That some companies will go to certain states because the salaries are lower, but also many of the labor laws are less strict. So that I think is one reason. Okay, all right. So let's look at some vocabulary that has to do with this. We've got. Let's look at the following infrastructure words and phrases. Let's put them into the categories below. So we have branches, rail network, food production, water system, cement plant, road network, a mortgage, fertilizer plant, steel mill, and power plant. So what categories do they go into? Do they go into transport, public services, construction, agriculture, or banking? Okay. Does anyone have any questions about any of these words before we start? Any questions?
I don't know what does steel mill mean.
Okay, a steel mill is a type. It's a type of factory where you produce steel. And so, I mean, that's really all I know about it, is that steel is produced there. Let me get a Google image. That might help a little. Okay. So this is what it looks like right here. So, and they're pretty much producing steel here. So, I'm not even sure what countries or what states even have steel mills. I think that in the U.S. it's around Michigan, but I'm not sure. So, okay. Any other questions about any of the words?
Construction.
Construction.
Yes, I have understood the word construction as when you build something up, like a car or like a machine or so on. But can you construct a country?
Yes. Well, you can. Construction has to do more with building, and normally when we use the word construction, it has to do with building buildings. However, it does. You can use the verb to construct, as in building a nation, for example. It's not. I would say that it's not used as much. I think we would use building better. Construct a nation, build a nation. We would build a nation. So, but yeah. So, but usually construction is definitely more on the building of buildings. And
yes, after wars, we say reconstruction of a country. For example, reconstruction of Germany after war, or reconstruction of the of Iraq after war.
Yeah, and I think we can use it. It depends on if it's used right. I mean, it has been used. I think I've heard more building. We're building the country up. We're and things like that. So, all right. Hi, Fanik.
Hello.
Hello,
Holly.
How are you doing? So, Fanik, what country are you from? What, Fanik, where are you from?
Oh, I'm from China.
China.
I'm
okay.
Sorry, I lost the voice.
Welcome. Okay. It sounds like there's this high-pitched noise, and I think it's coming from your computer, but I'm not sure. So when you're not talking, could you keep the mute your microphone? Just basically up here on top, right there. Just press on this mute microphone thing. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, because I don't hear it anymore, but there was this high-pitched sound. So, okay. Are there any other words or phrases in here that y'all don't know? Any? All right, so let's go ahead and match these words and phrases together. So let's start with Aaron. Can you choose a word and put it in the correct category?
Okay. Well, rail network would correspond to transport.
Yes, rail network would definitely be with transport. Exactly. And of course, I've got to type it right? Rail network. Okay, thank you. And Asma, can you choose a word?
Okay. Food production, agriculture.
Okay, food production would go with agriculture, yes. Okay. And David.
Mortgage, public services.
No. What? Okay, first of all, this is called a mortgage. The T is silent on this.
Mortgage.
So, mortgage.
Okay.
So,
mortgage.
But does it? What is a mortgage? Do you know? Does anybody know what a mortgage is?
It's a place where you keep died people.
No.
No.
You're thinking what your word you're thinking of. It's kind of close. That's called the morgue.
Okay.
So the morgue is where you take dead bodies, for example.
Yes.
Yeah. So a mortgage is a different word. Jacob is close. He's written credit. It's a specific type of credit. Anybody remember what it would be?
For to buy a house.
Yes, it's basically a mortgage is a house loan. So of course, that would be in what category, David?
Banking.
Banking, yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And Fanny. Fanny.
Hello.
Hi.
I think the cement plant is in the construction.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Cement plant would be in construction. Okay, and Jacob, can you choose one?
Transport, that's a road network.
A rail network, yes, we already have that. A road network, okay, sorry.
You haven't said yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, road network. Yeah. Okay, all right, thank you. And then Nawaf, can you choose a word?
Okay, from the public service or?
Anywhere, yeah.
Okay, public service, I think water system.
Yes. Okay. I just dropped my mouse on the floor. Don't you hate it when you do that?
Okay.
Hey, one of these days I can get it right. Okay, so Aaron, can you choose another one?
Yeah. And steel mill would be on construction also.
Yes. Oops. Oh boy. Okay. Steel mill would be construction. Absolutely. Okay, and Ozma, can you choose a word?
Branches, banking.
Yes. Branches would be banking. Very good. David, can you choose one?
Okay. Fertilizer plant, agriculture.
Agriculture would be, and we pronounce it fertilizer.
Fertilizer, okay.
Fertilizer. Okay.
Teacher, could you tell me more about fertilizer plant?
Okay, a fertilizer plant is where people take usually the wastes, the animal waste, and actually it's spelled like this in American English. So you take the animal wastes and then you make it into. Okay, I'm going to mute you, Frantic, because there's a noise coming from your computer again. There. But the waste would be like Fennec. There's a big noise coming from your computer, so I am muting you.
Okay.
Okay, if you can mute yourself, that would be nice. Thank you. It's a real high-pitched noise. Okay, so fertilizer plant. So you take the waste, basically, from the fields, from what the animals do, and then they make it into things for people to use with when they are gardening, for example. And here is an example of a fertilizer plant. So it's just a factory, but these are not good examples. This is what I was thinking, fertilizer plants, where people buy this so that they can use it in their plants. But a lot of this is showing bad things with the fertilizer plants. But anyway, we have one just down the street. My sister would like to buy a house right across the street from a fertilizer plant. It's kind of smelly. So yeah, but it's basically where they take the waste from cows and pigs and things like that. So, okay, David. No, David, you chose fertilizer plant. Fanick, can you choose another word?
Power plant. I think it should belong to public service.
Yes. Power plant would be public service. Okay. Okay. All right. And food production, Jacob, where would that go?
What's your question? Sorry.
We've already done food production. All right, we've got them all done. Okay. Okay. So I have a question for you, Jacob.
Okay.
In your country, which one of these branches are very, I guess, powerful?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about one of these branches in your country? Not branches, but one of these categories.
Yes, we have flourishing transport systems and flourishing banking systems in Germany.
Okay. And so when it comes to the transport systems, are people able to get around Germany without a car?
Yes, that's the point regarding the environment. And the people are encouraged to let their cars at home and to take public transport vehicles.
Okay, excellent. I wish all countries were like that. So I know mine is not. In the big cities, of course, they are, but in the smaller cities and the rural areas, you really can't make it without a car. You really need a car in the U.S. Nawar, how about in Saudi Arabia? Which one of these categories would you like to tell us about?
Maybe bank system is there very well. Yeah.
Is it very good?
Yes, very good. Transport is very bad.
Okay, tell us so is it necessary in Saudi Arabia to have a car?
Some road is okay, but in between city or another city is not very well.
Okay.
But in city is very good.
So if I traveled to Saudi Arabia and actually stayed in the same town or the same city, I would have no problems. But if I wanted to travel to another city, the roads would be more problematic.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, thank you. All right, and Aaron, tell us about Peru. Can you tell us about one of the industries in Peru, and is it good? Is it bad?
Well, I think for the last 5 years, the construction sector is growing up. Has been growing up. Yes, largely it's we have all around the city we have a lot of how do you say, apartment buildings? Yes, and well, all of these buildings, maybe how do you call the space of land in which you build your house?
We call them well, one of them is a plot of land.
Okay.
So a plot of land.
Plot of land, yes, and they all the prices of all this have increased.
Good.
A lot, yes.
So that's actually helped you. It's helping the economy then too.
Yes, I guess.
The economy is doing well as well. Okay.
Kind of hard to build your own house in the city now.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Now, you did make an error that is a very common error made by non-native speakers of English. So I want to go over this. You have the verb to grow, and then we have the phrasal verb to grow up. Okay. Now, what you had basically said is that the construction industry is growing rapidly in Peru because there's a lot of apartment buildings and homes being built, and also the land has the prices of land has increased. But what you did is you actually used the phrasal verb to grow up. Okay. Now in English, this phrasal verb is actually reserved for one specific reason, and that's when you talk about children. So children grow up, and everything else grows.
Okay.
So plants grow, but I guess, from when an animal, for example, if a dog goes from a puppy to a dog, you can say it grew up. But anything else that gets bigger or expands, we would say it grows instead of to grow up. So children, and then animals, when they go from babies to adults, they grow up. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yes. Absolutely.
So
Okay.
I hope that was helpful for everybody, because that is a very common mistake made by non-native speakers of English. So, all right, Asma, can you tell us about Tunisia? Tell us about one category in Tunisia.
Maybe I think that agriculture contribute by maybe 20% on the PIB. I can say like this.
Okay.
Of Tunisia.
Okay.
Participate to gain riches or to gain revenue.
To gain, excuse me, say that again.
Means agriculture is very important branch, or it's very important resource of riches, I can say, or riches. Because we have a lot of green places.
Okay. Yeah, you have a lot of land, or a lot of places to grow.
So that's why I think that we have a lot of food production, and Tunisia export many food production, and also it exports especially the oil.
Okay. Oil production as well. Okay, excellent. All right, thank you. All right, and Fanik, can you tell me about China?
I think the some strategy of the government have changed. So especially for these 10 years, so a lot of investor came to China to improve, to set up some branches of the company. I think the strategy is very important. For example, strategy about the facts for the foreigner investors, and some good strategy improved the development of the economy. Economy, yes.
Yeah.
Because my father was a worker in a company, but in a company. But 10 years ago, he quit his job and set up his own company, and he felt this improvement a lot.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Very good. I remember, I think I lived abroad for many years, and I came back to the States about 5 years ago. And I remember probably about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, the governor of the state of Idaho and a lot of businessmen traveled to China
Yes.
about getting not just investing in China, but for the other way around, to get Chinese businesses to invest in Idaho. so it was. I thought that was very interesting. So, and a lot of small business people were invited to attend and invited to go. I would have loved to go, but I wasn't in the position where I could. So, all right, David, talk to us about Spain.
If I have had to choose, I think I will choose food production. And could you remind me how to pronounce the word fertilizer?
What you said was perfect. Fertilizer.
Fertilizer. Okay. There are many fertilizer plants in Spain because we are an agriculture country, I think. And now, in a few years ago, the governments have constructed a very good rail network, I think, especially in high-speed trains.
Yeah, I've heard about the high-speed trains in Spain. That basically, what I've heard is you guys can be proud. So okay, what we're going to do is we're going to find some information. We're going to read an article together as a group and find some information. We'll complete the following 10 facts about Iraq with figures from the article. So first of all, we're looking for the population of Iraq. We're looking for how much money Iraq needs for infrastructure investment. Something new schools are needed for today's generation of Iraqi children. The percentage of Iraq's food that is imported, and then Iraq's population needs how many new houses, and Saddam Hussein was removed from power in what year. There are how many state-owned retail banks and about how many private banks in Iraq. And we'll look for how many Iraqis have bank accounts, and there are about a certain number of bank branches in Iraq. One branch for every how many people, and in the UK there is about one branch for every how many people. So we will be basically looking for these numbers as we read this, okay? So the next emerging market. Iraq's government has a message for Western investors. Spend your money with us, okay? And all right. Let's just grow this a bit. Okay, so let's start. Aaron, could you read the first paragraph?
Yep. Iraq is open for business, such is the message from the Invest Iraq conference in London. The post-Saddam state urgently needs infrastructure investment, and the Baghdad government has been unable to fund the enormous reconstruction on its own, with the price of oil down to $50 per barrel. But the worldwide recession could benefit the war-torn country. On the whole, the security situation has improved, and with so much financial uncertainty in other countries, Iraq's potential is attracting more attention.
Perfect. Thank you. Right. Next, Nawar, could you read the next paragraph?
Okay. The scale is
huge.
The scale is huge. Iraq needs 400 billion dollars, 339 pound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If of I don't
infrastructure
just to meet to the need of its existing population of 28 million. Of the list of the endless.
The list is endless. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, my is not very well. Power plants, okay, to water system, to road and the rail networks. The country needs 25 megawatts of electricity, but produce less than 6. There have been no new hospital for decades. That's right. Some 7,000 new schools are
necessary
just for today's generation of children. 50 years ago, Iraq was export of food. Now 70% is imported, and it needs fertilizer planet.
Okay, fertilizer plants. Okay, agricultural.
Investment and food production business to restore the balance.
Okay, so the more practice you read, the better you'll get, okay? But one thing to think about is when you have a word that ends with S and it adds more, to pronounce the S's. So production businesses.
Yes,
so try to make sure you're pronouncing all the S's at the end of the words, okay?
Okay.
And you'll get it. Just don't worry about it. The more you practice, the better you'll get. Okay, Asma, can you read number 3?
Meeting the requirements of even a single sector would be enough to change the economy radically, says Hussein al-Nusri, president of the Trade Bank of Iraq. The country needs 2.5 million new houses, for example. That by itself will stimulate the whole economy because it will need cement plants, 10 miles, labor, banking, mortgages instead.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And Jacob, could you read the next one?
Yes, thank you.
Number 4. Hello? Jacob, you're muted now.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Now we hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. With oil at 147 per barrel last summer, the government in Baghdad has more options. But with less money in the public sector, commercial investors will have a bigger slice of the pie.
Bigger slice of the pie. Okay. Private. Okay, I'll move you up.
Okay.
Private. Okay, right here.
Yeah. Okay. Private investment has been growing since Saddam Hussein was removed from power in 2003.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. All right, David, could you read number 5?
Okay. Sir Claude Hankins, an advisor to the TBI, said the potential for Iraq, with its large population, educated middle class and trading ethic, has been unmatched since the Far East of the 1970s, and investors are starting to pay attention.
All right, thank you. And then Franzi, Fanik, number 6.
A few brave firms have already decided to invest. Many companies from nearby Gulf states, Iran and Turkey, but Chinese groups are also showing a growing interest, as are the French. British companies are, so far, less well represented, particularly outside the Basra area where UK troops were stationed.
Okay, excellent. Okay, and then number 7, Aaron, can you read that one?
Okay, but kidnapping and roadside bombs are not the main concern for potential investors. A stable economy needs a stable banking sector. The TBI's rapid growth represents an improving situation, but there is much to do. There are now 6 state-owned retail banks in the country and about 32 private banks, including some international institutions such as HSBC.
Excellent, thank you. That only about 2.7 million Iraqis have bank accounts, less than 10% of the population. And between them, there are only about 600 branches in total, a very low per capita ratio compared with a developed Western economy. Iraq is still very much an underbanked country, says Mr. Usri. In the UK, there is around 1 bank branch per 1,300 or so of the population. In Iraq, that is more like 45,000. He said, cash is still king. Most transactions are in cash, from buying groceries to buying buildings.
Pie.
So, are there any words or phrases in here that you guys do not know? The first one I wanted to ask is, does everybody know what this means? Commercial investors will have a bigger slice of the pie. Everybody know what? Does anybody know? Everybody understand what that means?
Part of the overall amount.
Yeah,
Yeah.
part of the investment. You know, they have the pie, and they actually they use that as a. They have these pie charts, and they just get a bigger slice of that. Okay, so everybody understands that. Okay.
It's
Part of the
like
cake.
an idiom, teacher.
Yes, it is an idiom. Yeah. So, but since we use pie charts anyway, it makes it easier. But let me show you on Google Images. Slice of the pie. So this is a pie. And so a slice would be this. And so when you consider investing, this is a good example. You've got the dollar sign, and every investor gets a certain slice, and some slices are bigger than others. Here's another one right here. This is more of an investment type slice of the pie. So that every slice is a different size. This one too. Grabbing a slice of government pie, for example. So this one as well. A pie chart actually comes from the idiom "a slice of the pie," which is this food. I believe most countries have some sort of pie. So, all right. Are there any other words or phrases in here that you guys do not know? Okay. All right. I believe I posted the material on the Verbling chat, so I would encourage you guys to download it and to study it a little bit more, because there's a lot of things that we will not get to. So in here, and I believe on this one the answers are also in the back of in the back of it, so you can study it. So, okay, does anybody remember what the population of Iraq is? Anybody remember reading that?
28 million.
Yes, 28 million. Okay, and Iraq needs how much money of infrastructure investment?
I think $2.5 billion.
Well, my answers say a different number. It's 400 billion.
400 billion, yes.
Yeah. Billion. Okay. And number 3, how many new schools are needed for today's generation of Iraqi children?
7,000.
7,000, yes. And what percentage of Iraq's food is imported?
70%.
70%. Okay. Iraq's population needs how many new houses?
How many? 2.2 million.
2.5 million, yes.
2.5 million.
2.5 million. Okay. Saddam Hussein was removed from power in what year?
2003.
Well, I think he was removed from power in 2003. Wasn't he? They caught him in 2009 or 2008, but he was removed from power in 2003. Number 7. There are how many state-owned retail banks and about how many private banks in Iraq?
35.
6 state.
6 state. This is not letting me. 6 state, and how many private?
30. 35.
32, yeah. And you notice how this is actually a written grammar rule. You know notice how I wrote out 6, but I didn't write out 32. All the rest of them I've put in numbers, but this one I haven't. And that is in British English. You actually do not in most writings you actually write out the letters from 0 to 10. You write it out, unless of course it is a number situation. But if it's in a sentence like this, then you would not write. You would write it out like this. So that's just an FYI for written English. Okay, number 8. Iraqis have how many bank accounts?
2.7 million.
2.7 million. Okay, and there are about how many bank branches in Iraq?
600.
600. And so that's one branch for how many people?
For 45,000.
Yes, 45,000. Okay, and in the UK there is about one branch for every how many people?
1,300.
Okay, 1,300. Now, question for you: are your countries? So it sounds like Iraq is a country that pretty much most of the population is a cash-only society. How about in your countries? Do people? Does everybody have a bank account, or are there people that are cash-only? How, Jacob? How about in Germany? Oh, you're going to go? Okay. Bye. Thanks, Jacob. Aaron, how about in Peru? Are people cash-only, or are they bank?
Now, maybe for the last 10 years, the economy has grown,
Mm-hmm.
and now people is using their cards. Like maybe 60% of the people uses their card in order to
Okay.
pay something. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. And that's how it is in the States as well. I would, well, we do, I think probably about 80% now are using strictly bank cards. So, how about in China, Fanik? Do people use cash, or how do they pay for their goods?
I think the young people will prefer to use by credit card or
Mm-hmm.
other ways, but the senior, I think more than 90% of senior people will use cash only, and they will do not set a account online. They do
Oh,
not
really?
spend money online.
Yeah, I lived in Korea for 2 years, and I'll never forget. I used to get paid in cash every month, and that was so weird for me. I was like,
Yeah.
really, you know?
It's so weird, yes.
Yeah, but that was 20 years ago. It's probably changed a lot since then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Asma, how about in Tunisia? Do people bank use banks and bank cards, or are they more cash only?
I cannot expect the percent of the people that they use their cards, but I think all the employers, the officers who work with the government have a checking account or saving account, and they have the ability to use their credit or their cards in general. But I think for example, here when I lived in Qatar. I think in the Gulf, in this area, they are more development. The bank systems are more development than in Tunisia.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the bank sisters in Qatar are more
Yes. Yeah,
what
the
are
products that they give, the security, the loans, the everything, yeah, the applications, all the products that they give, yeah, I think it's very interesting here, and it's
so
very, and
it's
it's
sophisticated more than
yeah,
yeah. That's
yeah.
that's exactly what when I moved to Finland and I learned the Finnish system, I used to say that the American banking system is antiquated. Do you guys know that word?
Yeah, antiquated, yeah.
Antiquated.
Yeah.
It's
No,
old.
yeah.
Old.
Like old-fashioned?
Yeah, old-fashioned. Yeah, old-fashioned. And because the American banking system, um, compared to Finland and Sweden, the American banking system actually is very antiquated. It's very old-fashioned, where other parts of the world it is very very modern in the way things are. In the States, people still write checks and pay with checks. And where in Finland, the only people that I knew that had even seen a check were people who were older than 50. So I was very surprised by that. Where I moved there and I had a checking account before I moved. So yeah. So how about in the Saudi Arabia? Is a banking system really modern and in Nawar?
Yes, yes, it's very good. Bank system here is very. Can I buy from my phone? Like it's very.
You can buy from your phone as well. Oh, wow.
Yes, yes. His system is here. It's very well.
Yeah. Based on what I've heard about Saudi Arabia from other students, I'm like, wow, that's a really nice country.
Here in Saudi Arabia is many money machine.
Uh-huh.
Yes, use some kind of shop is not credit card. You can
Mm-hmm.
not go away to machine. Very machine here.
Mm-hmm. So it's very high tech.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. Excellent. Well, it looks like we're out of time today, so I do want to thank you all for your participation. I hope you learned some new words and phrases and got a chance to practice. And I want to thank you all. For those of you who are in Europe and the Middle East, go to bed. Sleep well.
Yes.
And then China, I think. Okay, good morning. Have a great day in Asia, and then South America. Have a good evening. So, all right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Holly.
Thanks. Bye.